Hello, 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 you scapers. How are you doing? And welcome to our weekly Q&A live stream. I am, as always, your semi-decent host, Mod Sarnie, and I am joined by the ever-wonderful Mod Arcane and Mod Kirby. Apparently in the script, Mode Kirby, but I'll keep you as Mod for now, that's fine. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm really tired. It's been a really stressful week. There's been a lot going on. Hopefully tomorrow's a bit more chill. Maybe I can finish early on a Friday or something like that with the dream. But yeah, I'm doing good. It's been an exciting week.
Yeah, very exciting week. How about you, Kirby?
Yeah, good week. Stressful week. Very much looking forward to the weekend where I could just sleep and no one could complain.
I think we all are. I cannot wait for this weekend. So I think I know the answer. I think everyone else knows the answers. But what have you guys been up to this week?
A lot of unannounced stuff that I can't really talk about. But then Phosani's got released as well. So mainly yesterday and today has been dealing with that. There's a couple of bugs that we wanted to fix. So it's been like the aftermath of making sure it's good and everyone's happy with it. There's a couple of changes I want to do as well for next week.
Kirby?
Getting Phosani's Nightmare over the line, and also Pole 75 stuff, which is slowly coming through now, which is good to see. We're getting there.
Yes, we are indeed. There's a lot of, again, I think I say this every stream, but exciting stuff coming. Can't say much more, but yes, there it is. So, first off, let us do the announcements. So, ! Game update. Face your fears with the return of Phosani's Nightmare. This solo challenge is back and tougher than ever, along with all new mechanics and rewards. We also released the range meta equipment rebalance changes and some more. So find out what's new with ! Game update. Just for your guys' information, we've included some hot fixes and issues that we have been aware of from the last 24 hours. So please check the top of the news post for some more info. ! Wilderness. As we wrap up feedback from our recent wilderness changes proposal, we've updated the blog to include more of your feedback. So use ! Wilderness, see the top of the news post to find out more. ! Chill. Want something to listen to while you're playing old school? Then check out our new comfy lo-fi mix. It slaps. I'm not gonna lie, it slaps. I've been listening to it quite a lot. We worked with the fantastic OSRS Beats to bring you the ultimate soundtrack to your in-game grind. So listen to it today with ! Chill. And finally, ! VOD or VOD. If you want a taste for what's to come up in the upcoming releases for the C++ client, then check out our previous live stream and watch as mods Kieran, Lenny, Nin, and Zuko give you a look at the current and future features coming to our Steam client. So catch up with ! VOD. And as always, if you have anything you'd like to ask the team or myself, then please at oldschoolRS with your questions. We have the wonderful Mod Light on chat and Mod Druid behind the scenes. So before we get into the questions, let's look at some player created content. And you can see all of these yourself by using ! UGC. So first off, we have Herb Pot for my IRL herbs. I'd happily get that for myself if I was able to keep anything I grow alive. I think it's just more for decor for me than anything else.
IRL herbs. Nice.
Sadly, we can't revive dead crops IRL.
No, if only we could. Arceus spellbook come in handy IRL. Probably with a lot more than just that spell, I'd imagine.
Can't you just turn a log into a plank for no good reason?
The dream. So next we have a set of God Graceful different concepts which look pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Guffix myself, so that middle one on the left is looking very, very nice.
And I did the Brassica Prime one. Everyone wants the Cabbage God.
Hell yes. What would your go-to be for these guys?
I mean, I just go red every time, so I guess I'm Zamorak. Yeah.
My inner edgelord wants to say Zaros, but then I refuse to. I use like the Black Grace in game on my Iron Man right now, so I don't know. Probably just go for that.
Cool. The next one we have is titled "Feeling Cute, Might Up the Ante and Forge My Own Journey from Scratch," and this is by Mildly Upset Burrito. A brilliant title with a brilliant name accompanying it. It's a really cool art. Really like it.
I do like the fact his intro has just become a copy pasta at this point, though. Like,
yeah,
it's a good copy pasta, though. It's a good copy pasta. And the final one is titled "Chronoscape" by Au Enki. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I butchered that. Probably did. But very
real
cool.
Dragon Ball vibes.
It's the same artist that did Dragon Ball, did the Chrono Trigger stuff. So, I mean, great RPG combined with another great online, MMORPG. So, best of both worlds. Awesome. That is everything for the player showcase. I think because of last week, we had 2 quite active live streams in terms of showing you guys stuff. We're just going to get straight onto the questions with this one and not muck around. So if you have any questions, please at Old School RS, and we will try and pick up as many as we can. Okay, so first question we have from Justin2. They say, "Love the new bow. Is there a possibility to get a unique sound for its usage? Right now it uses the same attack sound as the crystal bow."
I mean, it could. I don't really know if we've got time for that right now. I don't know how busy the art team is. The audio team. But we could ask.
I mean, it is a bow made of crystal, so it makes sense to have the same sound as the crystal bow. At least, in my head, it does.
Yeah, there's something really cool about a weapon having its own, like, completely unique aesthetic. Like, the fact that it's got a unique arrow and stuff is, like, really cool. Like, Rapier itself, like, I don't think its sound effects specifically interesting, but Rapier just feels so unique, even though the design is so simple. It just feels satisfying, and I think that's generally what people want to have. It's unique endgame weapons. Yeah. It really feels identifiable.
Yeah, I think you're right to make it that really unique and like stand out from everything else. It needs to have like everything all encompassed. So yeah, again, I think we'll look into it. Can't promise anything right now. Definitely won't be coming something like next week, but yeah, we'll look into it. The next question is, what's the process of fixing bugs for content like Phosani's Nightmare, and when can we expect current bugs to be fixed?
Probably the same process as most bugs. We try and reproduce them, and then we figure out the problem, and then we fix the problem. I think almost all of them have been fixed for Phosani's. There's one issue that we're aware of right now where if she like sinks under for like the surge, like the dash, whilst the totems hit her, she'll do like both animations at the same time, and she'll like dash across whilst dashing under, and it looks really weird. And then like it gets really desynced on client and server. And then you get some weird issues where, like, you try and click on the boss and your characters will run, like, somewhere else to attack the play. It looks stupid. We're trying to figure it out. It's really weird. We spent a lot of hours this morning as well as last night trying to figure it out. And we caused more problems by making it delete itself, but then we reverted that. Oh my god, it's a mess. But it's rare. Maybe just be a bit more careful about when you trigger the totems and try and avoid it. But we are trying to fix it. But hopefully that's the only one that's live right now.
Yeah, the team are working very hard to fix these issues. It's not a case of we're like, oh, well, that's a thing, and then leave it. Like, there is a lot of work that goes into it, especially because as soon as the game update goes live, we're all in a sort of call, monitoring everything, and conversing with one another, and it's a good process. So, we're hoping to fix it soon. We'll update the news post if anything changes, any hotfixes come out. So just keep an eye on that. The last update went out at 4 o'clock, I believe. I updated it last. So, yeah, just keep an eye on that. Cool. Next question is from RJM 007. Now that the blowpipe has finally been nerfed, can we expect combat achievements soon?
Yes.
I believe the plan is to wait for the meta to settle down just a little bit, just to make sure we got the numbers correct, but we're talking weeks rather than months right now.
It's finally happening! It's been months!
It is coming. It's not too far away. I'm not going to give any official date just in case we have to move it and then people get disappointed again. But it is very, very soon. So just a tiny little bit more patience. Okay, the next question is from That Boy Pick, who asks, the new bow is awesome and I feel like it did what it was intended to. But I cannot feel like limited accounts got the short end of the stick with the usefulness tied around high defense armor with no low/no defensive replacement. Are there any plans to bridge this gap for the limited?
Short answer, no. We don't have any plans to address that potential issue right now. It is a matter of fact that people, limited accounts like Pures and things like that, didn't benefit from the bow as much as other accounts. That's just how it is. We don't think that's innately a massive problem. At the end of the day, the new bow is still really good, even without the crystal armor. Obviously, just less so. So limited accounts did get hit harder with the equipment rebalance project that came out this week than other accounts. But as of right now, it's mainly we'll see how it goes. Address it in the future if needed.
Yeah, we know right now there's not like a huge amount of big feedback chunks we're getting for the bow. We know with more testing through the end of this week over the weekend, there'll probably be some more discussions had amongst like what the bow's here for and maybe some outlying issues that we could approach. But yeah, until we get that, we'll see how it goes, as Arcane says. Cool. The next question is from Ice Hero 0003. Lot of 000 counts on the QA sheet. Can we talk about the strange Ultimate Iron Man exceptions, like why the new bow is excluded from the stash? I definitely was not gonna set myself up for what was in the script.
What's wrong with saying Bofa? I don't understand the problem. That's what it's called. It's called the Bofa.
It is.
Oh, no.
Okay, it's not wrong. I was happy one of you said it. That's fine. I'm fine with that. So why is the Bofa, I can say it now, excluded from the stash, despite probably being the only game mode that would stash it there, or the spice rack? It's not broken enough to warrant Ultimate Iron Man's to not be able to use it. I'm more so wanting to address strange consistencies, and it makes sense for Ultimate Iron Mans to use these things if Irons can use them when they seem to be exceptions for the sake of exceptions. Quite a mouthy question. It's really a two-part answer. We had our update review call today, and basically the compromise for launch was to block Ultimate Iron Mans from stashing it there, so we wouldn't affect their game mode unnecessarily at short notice, because that's probably more damaging than it can do good. If the Ultimate Iron Man players didn't want it. So what the plan is we're going to do a Ultimate Iron Man only question in a mini poll that will be coming up to let you guys decide what you want to do with that weapon, so that way you get the actual say in whether you want it to be able to use in the stash or not. In terms of the spice rack, I had a lovely little document from Modern sent over looking at different restrictions on the Ultimate Iron Man game mode, and feels like the spice rack is more of one of those bank-like systems, and seems a bit unfair if that's usable in a game mode where you shouldn't have that accessibility, where you're restricting yourself. So at the moment there's no plans to look at the spice rack for Ultimate Iron Man. If that changes, we will let you know. I don't know if you guys got anything else. Yeah.
Just kill some rats. You don't need to store that many. I get the whole thing about like inconsistencies, but like our game mode's already kind of a mess in that regard. And whilst that doesn't excuse us not trying to make it better, of course, I think at the end of the day, the gameplay and the experience is more important than just trying to fix consistencies for the sake of consistencies. Fix it where it makes sense and it doesn't hurt the gameplay, but if it doesn't have a strong impact on the gameplay, then don't do it.
Yep, agreed. So next one is from Carolina Fan from Pitt. It seems the new bow is quite strong and has no real drawbacks. Blowpipe had a charge per shot, but the bow can be unlimited. Coupled with the arm only losing charges when you take damage. This means if you pray correctly, the bow/arm has unlimited use. For a weapon that is close to T-bow on DPS on so much content, do you think this is okay? This is the first range weapon that has no cost per use associated with it to get maximum DPS, and it is best in slot at a good amount of bosses over T-bow/max melee, like Bandos or armor.
It's kind of a loaded question. There's quite a few parts to it. I guess I'll address the first part, which is mainly about the charge system, I guess. So we did initially propose that the corruption only gave it 50% reduction, so that still reduces it a lot to the point where you don't feel like you need to upkeep it constantly. But it's not completely unlimited where you can theoretically do like thousands and thousands of hours of gameplay without having to think about it. Players didn't really seem to like that, so the compromise was to severely raise the amount of shards you need to use to charge it. So it went from 1,000 to 2,000, I think, or the assumption was it was going to be 1,000, but we proposed 2,000. So then it felt like you're putting so many shards in this thing that you probably would never actually use that many shots generally for most players. So it's not really like it's netting you a positive in that sense, if that makes sense. Like 2,000 crystal shards is 200,000 shots. Like so many shots. Like compared to a twisted bow, that's like 40,000 dragon arrows, like the assembler on and stuff. That's a lot of arrows to the point where most players aren't probably going to fire that weapon that much. So in terms of like that kind of balancing, I think it's okay. It's a lot of shots and a lot of shards that you're going to need to use. But it does feel weird, right? Where it's like this weapon is unlimited. If like melee weapons are usually the ones that are unlimited, but now we have this range weapon that's unlimited. It feels kind of weird, and I can understand that. I get that. In terms of its like power level for a weapon that is close to T-bow on DPS, I don't really think that's true. There's some scenarios where it's better than T-bow, but there's a lot of scenarios where T-bow is still better by quite a large margin. So I don't think like it fits in a meta and maybe overtakes T-bow in some scenarios and obviously overtakes blowpipe in other scenarios. But that's kind of the point. It's supposed to fill that void in the middle. It does a pretty good job of that. So, I don't know. I'm fine with it.
You can tell that one of us has been deeply involved in the equipment rebalance discussions more than the other.
I wonder which one. Okay, cool. Thank you for that, Arcane. Next question is from FlexCF. Could you release the damage formula for the staff in Gauntlet?
There isn't one. It just has a hard-coded max hit. I'm not sure why it's like that. It's just always been like that. It doesn't scale off magic level whatsoever. It just always hits the same amount.
There you go. You heard it first. Cool. Next question. I think this is the last one specifically related to the update, unless there's more down in the other topic section. But this is from Boss High Scores, who said, how will the Phosani's drop rates adjusted? Since the kills are faster, are the rates now, let's say, 1 in 110 instead of 1 in 100? Or are they now, let's say, 1 out of 90 because it is harder?
Is this a sneaky question to just say, what are the drop rates?
Probably, if you can avoid not saying the drop rates. Great.
How comfortable do you feel about sharing the drop rates, Kirby? Since we were both on this project, I don't want to just
You decide the drop rates, friend. You get caught.
Fine. Personally, I hate giving out drop rates as just like a flat rule. I think it's boring and actually hurts gameplay in almost all scenarios. I hate how RuneScape is so spreadsheet orientated, where it's like you just plan grinds and you never actually do them, and you just complain about drop rates before you even experience the grind. I think that ruins the gameplay. But for this scenario, I'm actually kind of comfortable with it.
I just said, don't do it in the chat.
Don't do it. So the reason I'm okay with doing it in this scenario is because regular Nightmare already had its drop rates released, and we actually polled the drop rates for Phosani's. We actually said it's going to be roughly 20% faster to get uniques for this boss. So I'm not going to give you the exact rates, but I can give you the math that kind of leads to the rates. So if like the regular rate for an Inquisitor's drop is, I think it was 1 in 120, right? Every single kill, 1 in 120 of getting rolling on that table for an Inquisitor's piece. So what we basically did was like, well, we want the kills to be twice as fast, so we'll just double the drop rate, right? So it balances out. But then we want it to be 20% faster, so then we lower the drop rate by 20%. So overall, the drop rate's still higher than regular Nightmare, but because you're killing it twice as fast, then obviously it ends up being quicker overall, 20% quicker. In terms of kills per hour right now, it seems like what we expected. We wanted it to be around 7 or 8 minutes, and that's what it seems to be like in like pretty good gear. So I think it's successfully hit the margin. I'm probably going to get a player who's much better at maths than all of us to say like, no, it's actually 24.5% faster, and I'm going to be really sorry about that, but I'm also probably just going to say, yeah, it's probably good enough.
Yeah.
I hope that made sense.
Yeah,
That sounded
I
good to me.
think so. Hopefully, well, hope chat can take that and try and work out what they are from that. So have fun. Cool. So we've got some other topics questions, which we've got a couple of answers from other JMods, which has been very helpful on some of them. So the first question is from Jackod, which asks, when can we expect the wilderness changes, and will everything mentioned in the blog roll out at once or in stages? Now, as I believe it is in stages. I can't give you, unfortunately, any dates, set dates. Again, I hate using this line because I wish I could tell you as much as I could, but I can't. It's coming.
We're still getting feedback from the community. We're still deciding, okay, this is exactly what we're going to do, and then we start putting hands on keyboards to actually get it in. And it's going to have to be in stages because there's some stuff in there that I know is going to be very dangerous to code and is going to require extensive testing just to make sure we don't have another Timo incident. To put it politely.
Putting that all out at once as well is just you know, there'd be a lot of work and a lot of risk going into one massive update. So it'd have to be split up so we can do each part right. Again, as for when it's coming out, you'll have to wait to find out more, I'm afraid. Okay, the next question is from I am so done right now. I think we're all feeling like that for this week. So, would it be possible to rework the gauntlet to include more people? Maybe have it so you can bind items to yourself, possibly remove the time limit, or introduce more boss varieties.
It'd be less of a rework, but I'd love a gauntlet expansion where it adds a lot more variety, and even like duo gauntlet would be really cool. But I think gauntlet as it is right now, while some people find the grind frustrating, I think it's fine.
And I would just say we make a Gauntlet 2. Don't call it Gauntlet 2. Make a separate Gauntlet that does its own thing, but then you can have multiple people, and we can have its own environment where it can support multiple players more reliably.
Gauntlet
I can see chat popping off. Dungeoneering's been mentioned a whole lot. So
oh no, what have we done?
Gauntlet hard mode. Hard mode Gauntlet already exists. It's existed since release. What do you mean?
Yeah, I think as soon as the bind items came into it, I think instantly, because that's exactly where my mind went. It was like, oh, like Dungeoneering. But no, not Dungeoneering. As much as I love that skill in RS3, you know, this is old school. This is different. So, next question is from John 1337 Smith. Could we have 2 quality of life changes for chambers? And that's a big ask. Like, I'd let you off with 1, but 2, like
2 in 1 question? Oh my god.
No, it's very cheeky, very cheeky. I might just leave half the question off, but we'll see how I'm feeling. First, a bank all button for shared banks, and secondly, a shift click for private banks with left click.
I don't know what the second one means. A shift click for private banks with left click. So like you're shift left clicking to do what? Like to bank it? But then you already left click to bank it. I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. Yeah, I definitely should have left that second part off now.
Instructions unclear, die to scavengers.
I think maybe what they're asking is it to behave like a bank, Like, so at bank right now, you can like drink pots while it's open. So maybe something like that. I actually kind of like it. I don't really think it's necessary, but like that bank is already kind of a pain in the ass to use. Anything that makes that a bit nicer to interact with, I'm kind of for.
Chat Shane's shift click to get private storage. That's what they're saying.
Shift click to bank into private while you're on public.
Oh.
In general, the concept of just making that bank nicer is generally a good thing. One thing I was pushing for a while ago is just making it more responsive. We don't really know why it's really unresponsive. We've looked into that code quite a few times, and it's just like, it feels buggy almost. Just making that feel a lot nicer would just be great.
Cool. The next question is from Dayoff1511, who says there's always a lot of talk about brand new skills or reworking skills, but what about non-substantial skill expansions just because ? Things that aren't necessarily best methods or game changing on a level or require a lot of work to create, but are just fun. Little things that no one can truly dislike and don't impact the big things inside the game or the development. Very big ask for us to do something that no one can truly dislike. I'm not sure we can achieve that on anything, to be honest.
Have we ever had a poll with 100% yeses? No. I mean, isn't this kind of what we already do? Like, Sepulchre was like an agility expansion, sort of.
Tempoross, came out. Yeah, Tempoross came out this year, which is, technically is a semi-expansion, not really expansion, but it's something else to do that's not the, generic method of fishing. Which is great.
Maybe it's something like making more uses for your levels as opposed to more like training methods, although Sepulchre still kind of falls into that since you need levels to access different parts of it. Like, I do imagine how good it'd be if fire making actually did something. Like, oh my god, it doesn't do anything anywhere for like anyone.
No, but you can light magic logs on fire, Arcane.
Fantastic, insane.
Are you guys telling me you're not cooking all your food on your pre-made fires? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Made out of magic logs.
No. Thing is, imagine if that was actually a thing, right? Because right now it's just, go to a range, go to the mid skill. Imagine if like burn rates were actually meaningful and you like leveled up your fire making to actually do that. Like, that's sort of small. That's actually sort of useful, but I think it needs more than that. But like, even just small things like that add up, right?
I've seen someone say magically good food on magic logs, like a shrimp plus. What if you cook on magic logs?
Now you've said that, I'm trying to think, how hard would it be to do?
Eat an anglerfish and it gives you like +1 magic level just because it's a magic anglerfish. Insane.
Well, I mean, there you go. So
maybe,
I hope that's answered your question. Maybe. See, it was a pretty big. It was a pretty big ask. Basically, we do these sort of little expansions, but they're not. I think what they're trying to get at is like not a complete rework, but I suppose like overhaul of certain systems. But that will be a lot of work, and it probably change a lot of the fundamentals of each skill. So doing that would be either a big requirement or something probably a lot of players might not want. So,
I do like the general concept of like, if a new skill is too much like effort to get in, like it's just really, really hard and people can't settle on it. Like, you can do like smaller things, and like say there was a crafting expansion that had like a subset of warding in it or something, because people liked some parts of warding and they're like, well, some of it would fit into crafting. Theoretically, you could expand crafting to kind of have that, right? In terms of use cases, but again, we kind of already do that in a certain sense. Maybe there's like more direction that it requires, or more of an impact. I don't know, but obviously the bigger of the impact, the harder it becomes.
Yeah, it's nowhere near summoning, but look at the necromancy parts of the Arcane spellbook. That's a cool way to add something new to something that's still classic, but not changing too much. Cool. The next question is, it's Tempoross, funnily enough. Would it be possible to speed up the process of fishing for rewards from the reward pool on Tempoross? Currently, it's over 4 hours for 8k permits. Maybe the big net could give 5 to 10 rewards per XP drop.
Wouldn't that be the best 4 hours of your life, though? Like, just sitting there, fishing and getting loot for 4 hours? That sounds amazing! Like, if I saved up 8k permits, I wouldn't want it over within an hour. Like, I want to savor that.
Could you hold... I don't think you could hold everything in one inventory over the 4 hour slot.
A lot of it gets noted, but you probably have to bank it.
You need to bank eventually, one presume.
You probably get every type of fish from Tempoross by doing it that way. So...
I'm not opposed to the idea of, there's an optional way of speeding it up, but then everyone will just use the faster way, and then, like, kind of hurts the dopamine, where it's just like that. I don't know, it's really nice to, like, do a bunch of Tempoross, get 100 permits, and then you just sink all 100, and it's, like, a satisfying experience. Maybe it'd be the same if you got it, like, 3 or 4 times faster or something. I don't know. I'm just worried about, like, if you hurt that loop where, like, the end result, like the dopamine, gets worse, then it just hurts the content overall. I think 4 hours after 8k permits. Like, how long does it take to get 8k permits? It was so long. It seems like a very small inconvenience in the grand scheme of things.
There's no name attached to this question, but whoever you are, whoever asked it, wherever you are out there, please get in touch and show us your 8k's worth of permits. I would really like to see that. Yeah.
Like, stream it. Like, you will get viewers, you'll get subs, easy money.
Crazy. Someone's mentioned over 100 hours for 8k permits. Apparently, I don't know how reliable
that
that
is.
is.
4 hours out of 100. That feels okay. But maybe this is just a question we give to Mod Squid, since it's his content. And at the end of the day, see what his opinions are on it.
Yeah, we'll let Mod Squid know. There you go. The next question is from Mr. Mateo Plays. Will there be an easy way to switch accounts with the Steam client in the near future? There aren't any imminent changes planned, but if you want to use the C++ client outside of Steam, that will be coming in the future, as we described in the new features blog. So it is coming, but not anything like soon. So just you'll have to stay tuned. Next question is from Hidden Ghost 1234. Any possibility of getting a longer tap delay customizable timer on mobile? As it is, the long tap is very slow. It makes doing certain activities just terrible on mobile. Being able to customize the MS delay before the long tap menu comes up would be huge for tons of things on mobile.
I'd love to offer this. I have no idea how feasible it is.
Yeah, this would almost certainly require engine work, and we aren't engine, so we can't say.
I mean, maybe it's a case of, one of the future drops for the, new features, because it will be going across both Steam and mobile. Maybe it's in there. We'll bring it up to the team. Maybe they've already thought about it. Maybe, but we'll pass it on anyway. So. Cool.
Jagex in chat. Write this down. Is an engine. Perfect. It's done.
There you go. We didn't even need to let them know. You let them know yourselves. Cool. Next question from particular anybody 850. Please, can we have our grave move outside of the Dagonoth King area to up the ladder?
So this is coming from, like, if you'd say died in the middle of the room, for example, and then you try and go in, you're going to be getting attacked by potentially all 3 of them, and unless you're Wooks and you want to flick them all, you're probably going to be taking a lot of damage. I want to say no, just because I think RuneScape really suffers from not having enough risky content. So, like, the emotional state of a player is just always the same. Like, you're not going up and down in terms of, like, oh my god, I'm really excited, or, like, I'm really worried right now, and the tension's high that a lot of games have. And that's why the hardcore Iron Man game mode is, like, really fun, because it's just so, like, dangerous. Everything is exciting, because you have to pay attention all the time. So, like, just taking more and more of that away from, like, the regular game mode, I think is an overall negative. Like, you can still just gear up, wear some Black D'hide or whatever, go in there, use a super combat for your defense, pray mage, and just try and loot as fast as you can. Eat some food while you do it. thankfully that interface was really well made, so you can like eat and equip your gear whilst it's open. So it's not like you got to open it and then close it and then eat and then open it and then close it. You can do it all at the same time and you can move around and stuff. So I think this is kind of a good scenario. I'm sorry.
Or just pay more money for your gravestone. That's also an alternative you have. If you don't want to take the risk of losing more stuff, you can just take the safe option, which is more expensive, but it's there if you want to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree with Arcane. Like you died there, so you know,
pay up or
I can get your stuff.
Get your stuff back yourself.
Yeah. Cool.
Arcane, please. I'm just trying to relax after a bad day at work. I don't know. Don't do DKs then. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe go and pickpocket some RD Knights or something. Do something a bit more
chill.
chill.
They slap.
Cool. So the next question is from Cynics. Are there any plans to introduce the previously polled player-owned house styles to the game? As someone who loves the entire idea of player-owned houses, I would love to see more styles. As far as I'm aware, the only sort of I don't think there was any polled POH styles, as far as I'm aware. Maybe I'm wrong from ages ago, but I know there was clan halls polled, and that's the only thing that I can think similar to it. I know
there might have been some concept art at some point that went around and people liked it. I think everyone wants more POH styles. It's just cool and it's nice. It's just finding content to appropriately give them. Like we had Mahogany Homes that introduced the Hesidious one. Like I felt appropriate. Maybe the next league will have something like that as well.
Yeah, I know the clan hall ones is something the team want to do, but it's just depending on when it goes in there. I think there are more crucial elements to go into clans than being able to customize the look of it at the moment. So hopefully in the future it will come, but can't say for sure. Cool. The next question is from Versus Very N. Would the team ever consider making content specifically designed as co-op, two-player content, perhaps rework an existing boss into a hard mode designed for co-op, or adding a co-op version to an existing fight, perhaps simply adding new monsters, not bosses, in the overworld which are designed to be killed with 2 to 3 players?
I really like RS3's Araxor fight. I think that was a really good example of how you can have like a 2-player fight. The thing about Araxor is that it's very specifically designed for 1 to 2 players, like the arena, the mechanics, everything. I don't think that would really scale up more than that, and that's kind of why it works. But if the boss can scale up to work with more people, it's like, why not just have it so you can have more people, right? There's no downside of having like 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, if it works. But if your design of the boss only works with 1 or 2, or just 2, then obviously it makes sense. I think generally we want to make content that is a bit more flexible. I think TOB really suffered that it was basically 3 to 5 man. People didn't even like 5 man. 3 man's really hard to learn in, so then it pretty much was only 4 man for like your first 50 KC until you get comfortable or whatever. I think it really suffered because of that. So having content a bit more flexible is generally better. I do like just duo bosses as a concept. I think it's cool.
Cool. The next question is from Cleary. I always struggle to pronounce this. It's zealot robes? Zealot robes. There you go. I got it. Zealot robes to work on bonemeal offered to the Ectofuntus. Fits very well thematically, both being tied to Mori.
I'm inclined to say yes. Maybe. I can't see why it would like break any metas or anything. Like your Mauritania Iron account maybe gets more prayer XP per hour, but
yeah, I thought it already did, to be honest. So I thought it was just like general prayer XP got raised, not just like only from. Oh, because it's more of a set effect. It's not even a prayer bonus. It's like you have a chance of saving bones, right? It's like a 5% chance to save a bone. Well, pull it.
Yeah, pull it.
Maybe. There you go. Maybe not.
No one does Ectofuntus apart from hardcores anyway.
Joel Mate asks, could we see expanded keybinds would be nice for people that own keyboards with no F keys. Now, I know this was touched upon in the new client features showcase we put out last week, which you can see with !VOD. Boom, plug. But this is dependent on chat input requiring an enter key press, which is a planned enhanced client feature update in the future. So that is planned, but yeah, F keys we'll see. Cool. Junesday asks, can we add an option to change transparency on the tile/NPC indicators? Also change the color of the chat timestamp.
Now Husky did the chat recolors. I don't know if we have the capability of changing the colors of the timestamps. I can definitely ask him about it, see if it's viable. Because if it's viable, then it's just a case of adding another thing to the options, and that's fairly easy to do these days, which is nice. As for transparency, because fair, there's a bunch of stuff that we're adding that would require colours that would be nice to have transparent options for, so getting that on the colour settings menu would also be nice. So it's definitely something to at least pass forward and see if we can get it done. Whether it's actually possible, who knows, but...
Yeah, just to touch on what Light said in the chat, yeah, this any big questions regarding, like, you know, big things that we can't answer, that will be more for a leadership live stream. So save those questions for when, you know, Mod Mike D, Mod Kieran, Mod Sween will be on next. Hopefully we'll do one soon, so you can ask some a bit more like serious questions. But yeah, for now, if you can keep just like game related questions, that'd be amazing.
It's not like we're trying to avoid it. It's just like, it's a big question. It's complicated. We don't have an answer for you right now. Like, as devs and like CM, it's in the works. Stuff's happening. It's slow. I'm sorry. It's just going to take a while. I wish it could have been done a long time ago, but it's just a lot more complicated than I wish it was or wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. We want the right people to be answering those questions, so you guys know exactly, you know, what you need to know, rather than us try and fumble our way through something and give you a
that we're not qualified to talk about in the slightest.
Exactly. We don't want to put that on you guys. It's not fair to you. So yeah. And anything, I see Group Iron Man as well. We will have a stream in which we've been speaking about for the last couple of weeks now in July, which will reveal more details on content upcoming for the rest of the year. So you'll have to stick around for that for any more information regarding upcoming content. So that's all I'll say.
Soon TM.
Cool. Yeah. So it's a shame I have to keep promising this, but it is coming, and I'm very excited about the potential of the whole stream. It's going to be very, very good. You'll just have to wait like a tiny little bit longer, just a little bit, Cool. So the next question was, could there be added a bronze axe spawn outside of the Muttadile? Currently, it can be extremely tedious to get one from scavengers, and it would be in line with hammer spawn outside of crabs and pickaxe outside of guardians.
So we're in this sort of awkward middle ground where we pulled the what do we pull? The pickaxe for guardians. So now do we need to pull the axe as well? But the axe I don't think is mandatory to clear the room. I can't quite remember. It's not mandatory to clear the room, so it feels like you don't need it. And
the axe is a strategy. Like, it's not mandatory. The pickaxe was mandatory. And that's the difference. You either get hard-walled and forced to do scavs if you forget it for Guardians. Well, if you're Muttadile, you can just kill Muttadile. You do not need to go kill scavs, even if you feel like it's better. I get that it sucks when you drop your bronze axe and then you run into the room, like after Ice Demon or something, you're like, damn, I left it on the floor, gotta run all the way back and kill scavs for 20 minutes upwards. It's pain, scavs sucks, but it's completely in your control. I have a trick where you can highlight tiles and put names on them and stuff, and you can just put pick up bronze axe or don't forget bronze axe. It's like when you walk to the room and say, oh yeah, of course, and you turn around and pick it up. And that's helped me a lot. Yeah, I emphasize the pain, but I do think it's distinctly different.
Oh, we've lost Sarnie.
He's muted himself again.
Thank you. I knew this would happen at least once. Just cover your screen in sticky notes, just reminding you acts, the whole screen apart from what you use to play old school. That's all you need. That's all you need.
Inventory don't need it, just a sticky note that says get your axe.
Yeah, that's it.
The problem then is,
maybe
you actually know if you've got your axe or not, but you'll remember to take it.
Maybe you'll remember to take it to more places as well. You know, it's fine. Just remember, bring stuff to places. That's all you need. Cool. The next question is from OSRS DTG. Can you please remove the prompt when right-clicking Robin to claim slime? Because so many times I've teleported away without clicking or pressing spacebar after the dialogue.
I don't. So the problem is I don't actually know the dialogue menu that's there. So my first thought is, okay, why is the dialogue menu there? If it's a simple yes, give me the slime, or no, don't give me the slime, and you're already right-clicking, you definitely want the slime in the first place. So if it's there to do something else, then no. If it's just that, then yeah, sure, why not? You save one magical tick while claiming slime buckets. Congratulations, we've successfully broken the game.
This is so specific. Like it's so specific. It's such a weird scenario. This is what this game's come to, right? Like I empathize with it, right? Where it's just kind of like all these macro annoyances that you do a lot, and you always fall for them. But like, I take this as like a really a good compliment. Where it's like I don't have anything bad to complain about. Like it's just this one pop-up box that is bothering me. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Cool. Next question is from Jutanius. Would it be possible to include a very small chance to get some uniques or a pet roll for story mode Fear of Blood? I envision something like a 1 out of 10k chance for the first 5 story mode completions. I'm having fun learning story mode, but it's still an annoying and time-consuming requirement for the quest cape. Having an impossibly slight chance on a unique would make the experience feel much more exciting. Now, I've got my own personal opinion about this. I don't know about everyone else. No pets. No pets. No. It just devalues the fact of not only normal Fear of Blood mode, but then it makes story mode the go-to for getting a pet because it's, technically the easier version. So just, why would we want to do that? And it's the same thing with uniques. Like, why would we put uniques into story mode just for an easier time to get them? Even if it was a higher chance, it just makes no sense. I
do wonder if there's something else that we could give them. So it wouldn't be uniques or pets or anything like that that are effectively for regular TOB. Like, is there anything that could be done to make it feel slightly more exciting on the really, really rare thing? Like even just like the gem bag, right? Like no one buys the gem bags for the onyxes, but the fact that you can get an onyx out of a gem bag at like a 1 in a million chance or whatever, it does just make it slightly more exciting. And an onyx doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's not going to affect the economy at a 1 in a million drop rate. But yeah, I don't really see it as an issue, but it is something to take into like most considerations. Like, is there a way of making something that feels monotonous and consistent ever so slightly more exciting?
You get a booby prize at the end that says, here's what you could have won.
1 in a million chance of getting a cabbage. Woohoo.
Wow.
That's all I want. That's all I want. Just to touch on the quest cape thing, today we had a sneak preview into the rework for A Night at the Theatre. It's looking very, very, very nice. So that will make, even though you will have to do story mode TOB at least once, or any version of the TOB to do that, the thematics of it is a lot better. Like Moded's done a cracking job as always. Like Moded quest. Like, what more do I need to say?
For the few players out there that actually enjoy our quests and don't spacebar them completely, this quest is really cool. There's going to be a lot of gasp moments where it's just like, oh my god.
I think we all did that cool. When we were watching it today. We were like, oh, okay. Yeah, you'll have to wait for that. That should be coming soon as well. So yeah. Cool. The next one is from Captain Ali. Can Nesty keep track of how many god eggs we've sacrificed to the nest altar in the woodcutting guild for the evil chicken outfit?
With the asterisk that we obviously can't do it retroactively, it's definitely doable. Yeah.
I like
Next.
stuff like this.
Yeah.
Awesome, easy. I'm skipping question 14 because I've already addressed dungeoneering. So I'm not I'm not touching that.
How is it not in the game yet?
Okay.
Thank you. This is polite.
Yeah. Like, thank you for the question. We appreciate it, but yeah, sorry. It's already been touched upon. So next question is from Led DWC. Could free-to-play be expanded to include additional content that's currently members only, perhaps up to the dragon tier, perhaps up to granite, or something like along those lines? I mean,
Why?
I think that I don't know about these specific items, but I know there's always a want to. I mean, I would love to see some more, like, at least teaser content in free to play, or the chance to try something else. Maybe even if it was one of the new members only skills that, I don't know, thieving or something like that. Just a way to get like a taste into what membership's like. It would be great, but.
I feel like if you're going to make stuff free-to-play, that's for a really distinct reason. And that's kind of why free-to-play agility keeps getting thrown around, because that reason is really good, because walking sucks in our game. And free-to-play doesn't really have that many teleports either. So something to alleviate that in a smart way that also gives them a bit of extra content is really good. As well as if you only had like one course and it was awful XP an hour, eventually that's a really good membership upsell. It's like, oh, I want to be able to run more and have more energy, so then I want you to do the methods, and then obviously just snowballs from there. Just giving people a granite and MSB, I don't think that really does anything. They're just going to be killing stuff faster.
Yeah, I mean, especially I suppose in any free-to-play metas, like, it would just completely change a lot of that, and I don't think that's necessarily what we'd want to do. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think we just want to, at least give them more of a taste of membership rather than introducing completely new things that free-to-play never has had before in terms of meta changing. Cool. So the next question, and then we'll do a couple of chat questions because we are already nearly at 6 o'clock. Man, that's flown by.
My lord. Okay.
So the next one is the final other question is from F Athlete TV. Why is the gauntlet dangerous for hardcore Ironmen but nobody else? I think a fee should be added where whenever you die, in order to enter again, you first have to pay. Maybe make the first 50 deaths free or something like Zora. I can see both of your faces in the corner of my eye. So
Gauntlet is dangerous for other players because you have to walk to that chest and open it and feel embarrassed, and everyone sees you, everyone laughs at you, you feel awful, you hop worlds because you don't want your friends to see it. That's the real pain. So it is dangerous. I get the point though, where it feels like inconsistent, right? But I don't think a fee is correct, and I also think just every time a hardcore Ironman dies, they should lose a status, like, no matter what. Even, like, mini-games feel like they're breaching the line. Like, why is it okay to die in the 5Ks on hardcore? It feels weird. Like, I'm, like, the complete opposite perspective on it. I just don't think it's right to change existing content at this stage. But going forward, I'm very much for everything you do, if you die, it's the end. Unless it's, like, specifically content where it's just kind of like, we don't want it to be dangerous, so then if you somehow manage to die... but they're edge cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Chat seems to agree as well. I'm seeing a lot of yes. But...
Hardcore Iron Man.
Yeah.
Hardcore Iron Man, no inventory, no nothing. You just use your fists to do everything. That's it.
The true Ultimate Iron Man experience.
Cool. So we'll have a couple of chat questions. Let's have a look. Well, one question is, no, I'm not asking that actually. We touched on the July reveal stream. No date just yet. Could Thammaron's Sceptre, I hope I've said that right, get a buff during the wildy update? It's in dire need of one because Crawls and Vigor are outside of it in every possible way. This question
We've already hinted at the fact that Revenants are going to be weak to certain styles. So.
And separately, I'm just going to say it, we are considering options regarding the Sceptre currently. Whether they actually come through is another question still, but currently it's looking likely.
So panic buy Scepters.
Panic buy, you heard it here first.
Of course. Every time this question's asked, or Torag hammers, or whatever, panic buy, etc.
Like, what I'll say is, don't know how far these buffs are going to go. Might still be terrible, but it is being looked at.
Cool. We'll go question 13 next, and then we'll do 16, Mod Druid, and then we'll finish up with the announcements. And those will be the last 2 questions. So from Chicken Tenders, great name, very hungry now. Is it intentional that the clan broadcast system does not catch things like loot from Barrows chest?
No, it's very manually plugged in, I think. So.
Yeah, it's intentional in the sense that it just wasn't plugged in there, I think is the explanation Ash gave at some point. It's definitely something we can do, but I
do think we should go through and hit some of the more obvious ones, right?
Yeah.
I think clues don't give it either.
Yeah, I think there's so many options for the broadcast system to announce stuff that we have to be very specific on what we want to put in there and what would be most beneficial for.
It can definitely blow so much. Like that loot broadcast system is amazing already, and it's so basic as it is right now. It's such a basic implementation, but it's amazing. Like it's so exciting to see people get drops and actually be able to customize it in certain different ways. Obviously, more customability is always good, but it's very, very easy for this to just become effectively its own project. So we need to be careful because we still need to do a lot this year. There's so much to do. So we don't want to let this bloat too much. I do think small things like this are probably fine, such as clues and Barrows chests and the things that feel like it's obviously missing. But in terms of things that kind of go into feature creep, where you're just adding more and more and more, we need to be very careful on that. Cool.
Yeah. Right. The final question. I'm going to add something on there just to finish off on sort of a bit of a fun note. Enjoy, I think that was how you pronounce it. Any new skin colors or hairstyles / default clothes in the future? And if you could, guys, what hairstyle would you put in there?
I don't know. I'm just wearing a helmet all the time. I don't look at my hair like ever.
Yeah. See, the problem with this question is not many people care because you're running around in gear half the time anyway. Like even just like going to farm, you're wearing full graceful anyway. So.
We need to have like a proper like JRPG character customization where you can like braid. You can braid individualized pieces of hair, like everything. Like that's what we need. But yeah, more customization is always nice. It lets people express themselves.
I mean, I'm always for bread hair. You know, being with Sarnie, anything sandwich related, chuck it in there. No need to test.
Any of the art team watching, bread hair, you heard it here first. Please, I'm going to be asking for the next sprint. Thank you.
Yeah, if I can't stick like a tiny baguette through the back of my man bun in game, like what's the point?
Right, you're all making fun of me now. I'm leaving.
Okay, well, with Arcane gone, with that, we will go on to the announcements again, and then we will wrap up stream. So, ! Game update. Face your fears with the return of Phosani's Nightmare. This solo challenge is back and tougher than ever, along with all new mechanics and rewards. We also released the range meta equipment rebalance changes and more. So find out what's new with ! Game update. Wilderness. As we wrap up feedback from our recent wilderness changes proposal, we've updated the blog to include more of your feedback. So use ! Wilderness to see the top of the news post to find out more. ! Chill. Want something to listen to while you're playing old school? Then check out our new comfy lo-fi mix. We worked with the fantastic OSRS Beats to bring you the ultimate soundtrack to your in-game grind. So listen to it today with ! Chill. And if you go over to the YouTube video in the description, you'll find his you'll find links to his social pages. So please do check him out. And finally, VOD or VOD. If you want a taste for what's to come in the upcoming releases for the C++ client, then check out our previous live stream where you can watch mods Kieran, Lenny, Nin, and Zuko give you a look at the current and future features coming to our Steam client. So you can catch up with VOD. Thank you both for coming on and answering the questions. I hope this was a good live stream for you both.
Yeah,
It was fun.
Good. Any closing words from movie review?
Stay hydrated.
You'll get some like Farney's there. Never mind. Apparently, I don't have words. I'm leaving.
Kill
Now. Goodbye. I'm done. I'm done.
Kill Phosani. Kill it a lot. Bye.
Well, with that, yes, we hope you all have a great week. Thank you very much to Mod Light on chat and Mod Drew behind the scenes, and we will see you next week. Stay hydrated.
Yeah, boy.